Today on the channel, we strive to survive with the Survivor Series 2023 set rankings, and we build the Build-A-Figure, the British Bulldog.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel as we finish up Survivor Series 2023 with the Build-A-Figure British Bulldog, and then in the back half, we got the set rankings, which will rank from my least favorite to my favorite, so stay tuned for that. And of course, for all your wrestling figure needs, make sure you're headed over to Ringside Collectibles. Make sure you're using discount code Kyle. Make sure you're saving 10%. Got to get a deal out there. But now is the portion where we look at the Build-A-Figure. And the Build-A-Figure is an interesting one this go-around, as we're very accustomed to our small children as Build-A-Figures, but also our suited figures for Build-A-Figures. And that's not a bad thing if you ask me. I don't mind a suited figure Build-A-Figure, but now here we go. We're putting our toes into wrestlers as Build-A-Figures, and we're going to see that with Lex Luger in the Monday Night Wars line, I believe, with the puffy shirt, the pirate shirt, Seinfeld shirt, but we got British Bulldog as our first go-around here, and when you think about it, British Bulldog, a big name, a guy that'll move some units out there at retail, but how well would this work as an elite by itself? You know, there'll be some buyers, of course, that buy Legends, but I think it is a pretty smart move to put this as a Build-A-Figure, and this opens up to a lot of future Build-A-Figures, you know, the Vincent, the Virgils of the world, in his NWO gear. We can get a lot of reuse out of that in the future, probably part of that Monday Night Wars line. Maybe some of the lesser quality guys, maybe, you know, Bret Hart in street gear or Shawn Michaels in a street gear. We can get some of that kind of stuff going on in one of these, or could we get deep cut wrestlers in the future? It'll be really interesting to see how this evolves in the Build-A-Figure lane. And I've said it for years, and I think it would be a perfect idea. A lot of people would hate it, but I got my business hat on, and it's tight. It's like an old fisher hat. It's tight on there. It's like I'm going fishing or something. But I would love it if Mattel took one step further, and every basic series had a Build-A-Figure in it. I think that would be very, very cool. Or at least maybe the pay-per-view Build-A-Figure series. Something like that as far as the basics go, because I think we can get a lot of deep-cut characters, a lot of variants, paint things. I know it would make a lot of people crazy having to buy all these basics to get a slick Build-A-Figure, which probably would never happen. But you know what I mean? But I think it would be a great way to get some extra figures out there, some extra parts, some customizers would have fun. And I think it would convince people that are not on the basics train to jump on the basics train. So I think Build-A-Figures are a very, very smart business move. But we'll see. Seemingly, it's just in some of these pay-per-view series and things like that. But whatever, I'm here for it. I like the idea, and I like the idea of this British Bulldog. So we're going to talk about it, and this guy went together very, very smooth. Of course, plug and play, very simple. Plug the arms in, plug the head in, plug the torso to the jeans. Bam, you got the figure. No issues putting it together. Didn't fight me, didn't fall off. We've had some that have fought me on the channel. Some of the Build-A-Figures with Vince McMahon, maybe. I can't remember. What is time, as we like to say. But this went together very, very easily. And this is great for customizing. That's the first thing I noticed on this. Pop Bulldog's head off. Throw a shirt on this guy. It could be almost anybody you want this to be. So I do like that idea. Very, very cool. But the Bulldog looking good. It's that good 99 short-haired Bulldog back to the WWF, WWE at the time. Looking good. I have no issues with this. Looks just like the British Bulldog. Kind of the puffy face he always had there. The black hair. All around, no issues with this Bulldog head. And articulation, arms go all the way around on this one, of course. You do get the bicep cut. You also get the double-jointed pinless elbows, which I'm always here for. Hands are removable. Now, we do remember we did get 2 fists with the Bulldog, so you can choose your own hand adventure with him, but he did get 2 fists with him. You also got the ab crunch. Waist articulation. I talked about the head being removable. Big old splits for the Bulldog. Even in these jeans, they must be stretchy jeans. They must be. Thigh cut as well. Double jointed, pinless knees. Hits continue to be played. Boot cut, ankles back and forth, side to side, up and down. A little bit limiting on that as usual. And of course, he should fit on a Ringside Collectibles Mattel stand. No issues there. So of course, head over to Ringside, get your stands. When they go back in stock, hopefully sooner rather than later. Now he's got kind of these wash jeans, like are they Guess jeans? Are they Old Navy? What are these things? Abercrombie? Who knows? But kind of got some fade wash to him there. He's got the jeans tucked into the boots, which is always an interesting look, especially in 1999. But looking good with that there. Just no issues with this Bulldog. Got the belt sculpted in as well. Very, very plain Jane, but one of those figures you need. And this isn't the only time we've got the British Bulldog in jeans. If you guys remember, 2 years ago, once again, what is time? We did get this same Bulldog in the Championship Showdown 2-pack with the Boss Man. Don't call him the Big Boss Man. He's just a straight-up Boss Man. But now we do get an elite version of this, and boy, quite the difference between these. Obviously, the articulation's different, the jean color's different, but the heads are very, very different on these two. This is the old pre-True Effects. This is the newer True Effects style head on this one. Obviously, this being elite-based, elite style, that's going to be better than the basic, but very, very fun. And now this one, I don't know what I do with it. Does it go to the customizing pile? Do I grab a different head? Do I pop something on there? I think this is before the heads were removable. Yeah, you got to heat it up there. You got to heat that head up. So we'll get to it eventually. We'll do something with it. Or maybe it'll be a guy in the crowd or something for my ring setup. Who knows? But all day long, they've improved with the Build-A-Figure. The Build-A-Figure, much, much better than this Bulldog. As a whole, if this was alone in its own set by itself, I'd probably say, it's a little bit weak. I understand why we have it, but I do think this is the perfect figure for one of these Build-A-Figure sets. So I'm very happy, thankful that they did this instead of a regular Elite line for this Bulldog. So there it is, the British Bulldog Build-A-Figure, a slam dunk, a winner, a must-have, dare I say, especially if you like the Attitude Era. There's no doubt about it. So there it is, British Bulldog Build-A-Figure. Now we got to turn our attention to putting these in order. Let's rank the Survivor Series 2023 Mattel Elite set from my least favorite to my favorite. All right, time to get down to business. Time to rank this set from my least favorite to my favorite, as we usually do in these top lists. And of course, this will be my list. Put your list in the comments down below. But we got 5 figures here. We're, of course, going to start with my least favorite at number 5. And pretty easy if you watch the reviews to probably guess what the number 5 figure was for me. And I'm going to have to go Kevin Owens. Sorry, KO, you're going number 5. Just basically the repaint of this, the easiest figure out of the set for them to do. And that's not always a bad thing. And maybe that's just the way the cookie crumbled for Kevin Owens right here. But I am just ready for a new KO-style body. I don't like this old head as much as the newer one that we pointed out in that review. So it just kind of is what it is. It's Kevin Owens. It's another star that's on TV all the time. Getting him out there, that's not a bad thing. Nothing against it. It's just somebody's got to be my least favorite. That's where KO does land for me. So now that's number 5. Now we got to go to number 4. I'm thinking a little bit. I think it's kind of weird because out of all of these, he is one of my favorites. But for what he is, I don't know. Anyways, British Bulldog going number 4. I like the British Bulldog, a favorite of my childhood. Loved his Intercontinental title run. I had enjoyed Bulldog all aspects of his career. However, very plain Jane figure at the end of the day. As we just talked about, very plain. Not sure how well this would sell by itself as an Elite. So a perfect spot as a Build-A-Figure for me for this one. And it feels basically free. And it feels like the Marvel Legends. I always talk about those Marvel Legends reviews. If you're not watching those, man, what are you doing? But we get the Build-A-Figures in those. They always kind of feel like a free figure. I get it. They're not technically free, but they feel that way. That's how this Bulldog feels to me. It's not the greatest figure. I would buy it if it was on his own, but I think the general public would not. But as a free throw-in for buying the Wave, it felt right. It feels good, but it's just not the greatest figure ever. And I don't think it's trying to be either. It's just trying to represent British Bulldog in obviously his least flashy era of his career. That's why he's going to come in at number 4 for me, but I'm still happy they did get this to us. So now we're down to the final 3. And you know what? I am going to go Shawn Michaels' Little Dutch Boy at number 3. A very, very iconic one. I think if he would have got his vest as shown on the back of the package, I think that would have maybe knocked him up a spot, maybe even 2, who knows? Like the world title belt. The pants being off just a little bit is a little confusing. And once again, much like Kevin Owens, I'm ready for a little bit of an update to Shawn Michaels. He has a little of that gangly arm syndrome as well. At least for me, he does. But still, a figure, much like the Bulldog, very happy to get, even if it's not perfect. An iconic time and a very cool match and a very cool memory for me and a lot of other people for this Shawn Michaels. So he's coming in at number 3. which leads us to number 2. And we're got old Jerry the King Lawler, who's going to be number 1. And Charlotte Flair is going to be number 2 for me. Now, usually I'm not the biggest female wrestling fan as far as figures at the top of my list most of the time. But this Charlotte is really, really good. I like that it has the ultimate articulation. I like they've got extra hands, title belts, pinless joints throughout is always a plus. I really like the new head sculpt on Charlotte Flair here. I really do think they've finally gotten way, way better on these Charlotte Flair head sculpts, and this is a crowning achievement for them. Could have used some side plates on this belt, maybe a little bit more detail to the belt, but I like the all-black attack on this one. Just a very good Charlotte Flair figure. If you've missed out on all the other ones, this may be the one for you, and it may be the only Charlotte Flair you need in your collection. Once again, like Shawn Michaels, missing a robe, would have liked to seen a robe with it. Is what it is. Can't play all the hits all the time. You got to play some of those B-sides every once in a while. Or maybe even those Japanese bonus tracks. If you guys know, you know, I guess. But Jerry the King Lawler, going to be number 1 for me. The most iconic of the bunch for me at the end of the day, Jerry Lawler. Like I always say, I was transfixed as a little kid going to my VHS store, renting VHS tapes. The whole Lawler-Kaufman angle just stole my heart and still has never let go. I've always enjoyed his one-liners. I loved his wrestling days, especially his time in Memphis. And this, of course, representing ECW, representing that Survivor Series, but really representing ECW for me. Just put this one over the top. Give me all the Jerry the King Lawlers you want. I'm ready for an Ultimate Edition Jerry Lawler with the strap that comes down. Let's get that. Let's put a Bill Dundee as a 2-pack. Why not? Let's just get it over with. Let's get that done. But I like this Lawler. It can be an announcer. It can represent Survivor Series. It can represent ECW. A very versatile figure, and one I am no doubt here for. That's why he's number 1 here in this 5 list here. So a very fun series here. It's funny, there's no super crazy superstar. Obviously, Shawn Michaels is the biggest star of this bunch, but I would say, and for most people, not his most iconic look. There's nothing super crazy iconic. You don't got a Rock from headlining WrestleMania here. You don't got Shawn Michaels from a big WrestleMania, anything like that. It's just Survivor Series is kind of, I don't want to say paint by numbers, but a very good set where its whole makes it good. One-on-one, it might be here or there, but as a whole, a very good set. So I did enjoy this one. I'm here for more Build-A-Figures. I'm here for more deep cuts like this, and even this in some instances. Just a very good set, a fun set for Survivor Series 2023. So there it is. That's my ranking. Do you got your rankings? What are your final thoughts on this series? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and the other YouTube channel. We got multiple channels going on. And what is time? What is craziness? What is YouTube? Who knows? Check out the YouTube channel. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe like I did say. Don't forget about the Patreon for early access to all the videos from both channels and your best way to support the channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. Don't forget social media, Sir Paul and the Axe, the _Kyle_Peterson on Instagram and on Threads. So for Survivor Series 2023, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.